Hello, this is Caede. Today I am at the Kiyomizudera or Kiyomizu Temple, which is a mass visit temple in Kyoto. It's a very famous temple, so you will see a lot of people along the approach. Once you get inside, you'll understand why there are so many people, as it's so beautiful and a temple like no other. Registered as a component of UNESCO's World Heritage Site, Cultural Properties of the Ancient Capital of Kyoto in 1994, Kiyomizu Temple is an unmissable tourist spot in Kyoto. It is visited by more than 5 million tourists a year, not only from Japan, but from all over the world. Kiyomizu Temple is not only very famous for the Kiyomizu no Butai stage, but it is also a very important temple historically. I will take the time to show you around. The following story may be a bit complicated with many different names of people, but please follow me. In 778, a monk named Kenshin had a dream in which he went to Mount Kiyomizu to visit the Otowa Falls, and he went there as soon as he could. An ascetic monk who must have been over 200 years old appeared. He gave a sacred tree and a hermitage to Kenshin, then disappeared. Kenshin realized that the ascetic was the incarnation of Buddhist goddess Kannon. He carved the statue of the Kannon on the sacred tree and enshrined it in the hermitage. This is the very beginning of the Kiyomizu temple. It's kind of mysterious, isn't it? The hermitage is said to have been located around the Okunoin temple, which we will see later. 2 years later, in 780, Sakanoue no Tamuramaro, a military officer serving the emperor, came to Mount Kiyomizu to hunt deer in order to nourish his pregnant wife. After successfully killing the deer, Tamuramaro met Kenshin, who taught him about the preciousness of life and the sin of killing. Tamuramaro deeply regretted what he did. He was so impressed by the teachings of Kannon that he decided to build a temple with the 11-faced, 1,000-armed Kannon Bodhisattva as the main deity. This was the beginning of the main hall. Then in 798, he expanded the main hall and named the temple Kiyomizu. Literally meaning is pure water, inspired by a clear waterfall nearby. This was when they first started using the name Kiyomizudera. But how did they build the temple on such a steep mountain slope? There's a legend here. Tamuramaro, who angered Kenshin by killing the deer, built a deer mound to enshrine the soul of the deer. It is said that the deer mound still exists behind the Neomon gate. I'll show you the location later, although you can't really see the mound anymore because of all the plants. It is said that after the deer mound was built, hundreds of deer came down and ran around the mountain to make the ground easier to build the temple. So that's why there's a cloth with a deer painted hanging on the Neomon gate. Throughout the years, emperors visited the temple and gradually the Kiyomizudera grew larger. However, it was almost completely destroyed by a fire during the Oni War and other civil wars. Tofukumonin, who was a wife of the emperor and also the sister of Iemitsu, the third Tokugawa shogun, proposed Iemitsu to rebuild the temple, and the reconstruction was completed in 1633. The current layout and other features are from this reconstruction. Thanks to Iemitsu, many of the buildings in Kyoto have been rebuilt. Thank God. He couldn't refuse his sister's request, could he? Normally, temples in Japan have a system of danka. This is because in the Edo period, when the ban on Christianity was issued, people were forced to become a danka of one of the temples. This means that they belong to a temple. Temples received money in exchange for guarding the graves of their danka's ancestors and holding memorial services. And this income from their members was very important to maintain a temple. It is similar to the Christian parish system. But Kiyomizu-dera was a temple that didn't take any danka, so even though Iemitsu had rebuilt the temple, the building started to deteriorate. This was not good. So in 1738, the main image of the temple, the 11-faced thousand-armed Kannon Bodhisattva, which had never been shown to the public as it was a hidden treasure, was opened to the public for 3 days, only to raise funds. Many people came from all over Japan to see the secret statue, and the Kiyomizudera was able to earn a huge amount of money. Since then, the Gokaicho, or unveiling, has been held once every 33 years. The reason why it is held every 33 years is because Kannon can transform itself into 33 different shapes to save people. The most recent Gokaicho was held in 2008, so the next one will be in 2041. I will be older by then. Then, in the Meiji era, Shintoism became more important due to the separation of Shintoism and Buddhism. Since the emperor had a political power, Shintoism, which worships the emperor, became more important. Kiyomizu-dera also had its territory taken, and it went down to 1/10 of its original size. Gradually, Kiyomizu-dera began to face financial difficulties, and they had to sell off the temple's properties. This is when the temple was reduced to its current size. It's still big though. Kiyomizu-dera still has more than 20 buildings today. It is said that there are 17 money boxes spread over these buildings. They must collect a huge amount of money, since many people from all over Japan and the world visit the temple throughout the year. It even seems that there is a staff member whose only job it is to count the money. However, it is not known to outsiders how much money is given to the temple per day. I also did a lot of research, but there's no way to find out because money gifted to temple is not taxed. What a pity! When you come up the path, there are stores on both sides. Here, I'd like to introduce one of Kyoto's specialties. This is it, yatsuhashi. It is a pastry made by mixing rice flour and cinnamon and then baking it. It's hard to say when it was first made, but it's believed to have existed as early as 1689. When you think of yatsuhashi, you probably think of raw yatsuhashi, which is relatively new and started to be produced around 1960. I prefer this raw yatsuhashi. It is called raw because the dough is not baked, but it is still mixed with rice flour and cinnamon. This dough originally has had red bean paste filling, but now there are various flavors such as chocolate and strawberries for the people who are not used to the taste of red beans yet. You should try them. I will now take you on a tour of the most important buildings of the Kiyomizu-dera. It's a bit of work, but there's some beautiful scenery waiting for us. So let's go!